So this is actually kind of concerning. This is the Adventure Force Stunt Runner, and what we're going to do with it is test everything it says on the box and more. So let's get right into it. Now it says it comes with a full function 2.4 GHz controller and has its own rechargeable battery in it. Yes, that means I don't have to spend money on AA's. Well, except for the controller, but those things last forever. And finally, it says it has a range of up to 30 feet. Now we will test that out and see how accurate that is later on. And before we unbox this, if you want to know more about this car or where to buy it from, there will be a link in the description below. Let's unbox this thing. So in the box, you get your weirdly shaped manual, and finally your controller and car. Now the controller has some nice clicky buttons on it, and you can actually kind of see through it. I've never seen an Adventure Force controller like this one. And then for the car, you do have your dual designs and then some nice rubber tires. Now if you actually look how this thing drives, if I turn this wheel this way, that one turns that way, and same to this one, which means this thing is technically four-wheel drive. Now what that should allow this car to do is do some spins and donuts and stuff like that, but we will see later on. Alright, let's get some batteries for this remote, charge this car up, and go test it. So you need 4 AA batteries for the controller, so to charge the car, on the remote, there's a spot that says open, so you just go ahead and pop that open. And then you find the little hole in the car and simply just plug it in and turn on the controller so that turns green. And then once that turns off, that means your car is charged. So let's wait for this to charge and then go test it. But there is just one issue. As you can see, it's actually snowing in the springtime, even though it was just 80 degrees yesterday. Gosh, Virginia weather is just so strange. But hey, at least I can do this. Yes, now it's nice and sunny. I love that I can do that. So here we are outside. Let's see what this little thing can do. Now speed-wise, it's actually not too fast, but it takes off really quickly. Like it almost pops a wheelie every time. And then the second thing, steering it is also ridiculously sensitive. Like I am barely tapping the controller when it spins like that. I mean, you can hear me tap it. So that will take some getting used to, but because of how sensitive that is, it is in fact able to do some 360s just like that. Let's see if we can try to drive it like that. Oh yeah, you can do some donuts with it too. Oh my gosh. This thing's honestly pretty quick, just not too oh look, it just flipped like that. That's funny. But like I was trying to say, this thing takes off really quickly, but it just is not too fast. And the other cool thing you can do, if you would run it into a wall, this is what would happen. It just flips it back and forth like that. So this means if you did hit a wall, it would just slip over and you wouldn't have to walk over there and pick it up. Now we're going to drive this car away from this controller and see how far it can go. Then we'll measure it with this measuring tape. So this is actually kind of concerning because I think that just lost signal. I mean look, it's not doing anything. Well, let's go measure it. So remember, this said it could go 30 feet. Now watch how far it went. Yeah, 16 feet, just about half. Now this is the first for an Adventure Force car, because they always go like 30 or 40 feet above what the box says. So I'm honestly pretty disappointed in this. So if you're planning on getting this car for a living room size, then I would not recommend this for you. Well, I'm not really happy about what just happened, but there's still one more test. But before we get to that, if you are enjoying what you have seen so far, make sure to let me know by liking this video so that way I can make more like this for you. Thank you. Now back to testing. The final test we have for this car is to see how long this thing can run for. Now I don't see anywhere on the box where it says this, so let's find out. But first, let's charge this car up to make it a fair test. So we got the remote set up, we got the stopwatch, and the fully charged car. Now I will stop the stopwatch once the tires stop moving and the battery goes completely flat in the car. Let's start this thing right now. We're about to the 10-minute mark. And there you go. This thing has gone for 10 minutes. Let's see how much longer it can go for. So a weird thing is, this one half stopped, but the other half is still going. And we are at 27 minutes. So, oh. There it goes. Battery just died. Let's go ahead and stop this. So, wow, guys, I was not in any way expecting it to do that. I mean, look at that. That's almost half an hour of runtime from this thing. I'm sure if they put that in the box, this thing would sell way more. But I guess that isn't a bad thing, because this thing has, like, no range on it. And speaking of that, let's go over some of the things that I really don't like about this car. The first thing is about how sensitive the steering is for this thing. I mean, you hit one of these buttons for 1 millisecond, it will like do a whole spin out. So you have to be really careful about how long you press those, which will take some practice. I mean, heck, it took me like 10 minutes of pure driving this thing to get used to that. Now the second thing is the speed. Now yes, this thing takes off really fast when you hit go, but once it hits that top speed, it does not go any faster. And now the last thing I really don't like about this car. I mean, because of this, I almost don't even want to recommend it to you guys, but it is the range this thing has. It absolutely sucks. It goes 15 feet from the controller, even when the box said it could go 30. Now, I don't know if it's just this specific car that's doing that. If you guys have this car, if you want to buy it and test it out, tell me down in the comments how far it went for you. But I mean, if they're all like that, I really wouldn't recommend this thing because you can barely drive it in any spaces. Alright, let's move on from the negatives. The things I like about this car is that these tires are nice and flexible and have some nice grip on it to drive on almost any terrain. Now, the fact that the tires are rubber also is what's able to make it flip when it hits a wall, so you don't have to walk over there and flip it back, even though it would only be like 15 feet away. Alright, I need to stop doing this. And the last few things I like about this, the buttons are very easy to press, and this controller feels like it's actually pretty good quality. And probably my favorite thing about this car is the runtime this thing has on it. I mean, good gosh guys, 30 minutes of runtime from this little thing? And it actually only takes like 15 minutes to charge, so that is really good for something this cheap. Now, if you want to see similar tests just like the one in this video, but on a different car, I will put a video right there. And on that note guys, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the review today. Stay awesome out there, and stay updated for some more RC cars in the future. Peace.